is on. We are going rock and roll. Here we go. I was in the Army, so this is how I learned how to fly. I could do this all day. I'm not in the Army anymore. I gotta come up. And up we go. Up and away. We'll start climbing up here. One thing we know about here in Hawaii, our homeless sometimes have their own island. You see this island here, they take over this little island here, old block. Little fishing village coming up on the right. And we continue on off here on the left. This is a Sand Island Industrial Port where 90% of our goods comes into the Hawaiian Islands here. Down here you might see some turtles down in here in the channel here and all that stuff. Alright, we're going to come left here in 3, 2, 1. We're flying underneath the airplanes here, so we'll stay low here a little bit, and we'll come out afterwards. Come in loud. Yeah! We'll come buzz along the water here, like the opening sequence of Magnum PI here. Kind of cool. Off on your left is downtown Honolulu. The low-rise is Chinatown. The high-rise is the business and financial district. The crater in the back is the Punchbowl National Cemetery. And on the water, you got the Aloha Tower and Car Marketplace, where the cruise ships park up against, and then you have the Pride of America, the largest American flag cruise ship. Here on the left is the the Waterfront Park, where we have the University of Hawaii's Medical School, the John Burns School of Medicine, and the colorful building is the Children's Discovery Center. Where the boats are parked, that's called the Kewalo Basin, your start point for ocean adventure fun, like parasailing, scuba tours, jet skiing, and that kind of stuff there. And here on the left is the Ala Moana Shopping Center and the Ala Moana Beach Park. Great place for surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, swimming, and just kind of hanging out here. Across the street is the Ala Moana Shopping Center. And sticking out here is Magic Island, the man-made portion of the beach. We also have the Aloi Canal and the Aloi Boat Harbor, where Gilligan and crew started their 3-hour tour. We're going to start to climb out now, passing by world-famous Waikiki Beach. I'll do a left-hand turn so you guys can see Waikiki on your right a little bit better here. The beach on the left here next to the Hilton has been ranked as the #1 beach in America 2024. The Duke Hanaboku Beach. We'll start that left-hand turn here shortly, and it'll be a climbing left-hand turn. Oh, look, dolphins. You see them down there in the water? See the dolphins in the water down there? Alright, we're coming left. Now, like I said, Waikiki is one of the most famous beaches in the world. It starts off here also with the big hotel is the Sheraton, the pink one is the Royal Hawaiian, the tree in the middle is the Moana, Twin Towers is the Hyatt Regency, the green roof is the church, and we end with the Waikiki Wall surf spot. Up in the valley is my alma mater, the University of Hawaii. Let's come around and see if we can find those dolphins again. Outside of Waikiki, the water is actually kind of nice. See? That's why they have the dolphins down there. Yeah, there they are. Hello, a few of them today. We'll come around here. Off on your left is Mount Leahi. You know it as Diamond Head Crater. And Diamond Head erupted millions of years ago. When the Western sailors came to Hawaii, they said, "We are rich. We have found diamonds." What they found was the crystallized, worthless lava. But the name Diamond Head has stuck ever since. On the sides of Diamond Head, you'll see some of the nicest houses on the island. And when we go around, you'll see some of our more challenged, less fortunate people. Homelessness is a big problem here in the island. And the big reason for homelessness in Hawaii is it's expensive to live here in paradise. The average cost of a home here in Honolulu, starting at $1 million, so it gets pretty expensive. I mean, you have to drive an I-8 for that. one thing about helicopters, we fly lower and slower than airplanes, so we get affected by the wind a little bit more. So the wind comes off these mountains and the buildings and hits us and bounces us around a little bit. Nothing to worry about. We're all good. We're just waiting to get clearance out of here and we'll continue on. We're at our cruising altitude of 1,500 feet. We'll stay here for a while until we get by the mid-channel, then we'll go up a little higher. And we'll start to speed up now. Coming up on the left, this is called Kahala. This is like our upper class neighborhood. Really nice, big, rich people live over here. So you can see how the houses are big and unique looking. Alright, we're out at airport traffic here, so if you want to use the radios, you can. If not, just sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and I will tell you about my beautiful island of Oahu. I call it my island because I was born and raised here, so I know a few things about the spot here, okay? You guys look good up over here. How we doing back there, Mom and Dad? You guys okay? Alright. Alright, here we go, and we are cruising. I don't ask too many questions up front here because I can feel us up over here. We're nice and cozy up here. Alright, so here on the left we have the Halamall Shopping Center. This is the Waialae Country Club where they play the Sony Invitational. The hotel is called the Kahala. It's where the rich people stay here too because it's not a Waikiki, it's 5-star service. You see there's a lagoon next to the hotel. That's where you can go swim with dolphins if you wanted to go do that too. The legal way to go swim with dolphins. Alright. See on the left we have the Kahala Waialae Ridge. That's where rich people like to live too. The next one is even more exclusive. That one's a gated community. It's twice the size and twice the price. This is called the Hawaii Lower Ridge. There. Probably the nicest of the neighborhoods here in the island there. On the left-hand side of the surf, the waters may be 5-10 feet deep at the deepest, and you go to the right over here, you know, at like 50 feet where it's nice and blue and beautiful with the sandy bottom. When you get to the point, you see how it gets dark. Dark means deep, and goes into the hundreds and thousands of feet. The Pacific Ocean on your right here, or all around us, is the deepest and the biggest of the ocean. And we are right in the middle of it, so that's why it gets very deep out there. In front of us is a town called Hawaii Kai or Coco Marina. It was designed to look like Miami, Florida. And that was the idea of Henry Kaiser, who developed this part of the island. You'll see two volcano cones in front of us, Coco Heads on the left, and Amo Bay's on the right. These are the last volcanoes to erupt on the island. When you get closer to the one on the left, you'll see a long trail going up the side. That used to be the trolley track. Now 1,083 steps to the top. Nice hiking trail, very popular. If you look across the channel toward right, 22 miles away, that is the island of Molokai. Molokai is known as the Friendly Island due to the nature of the people who live there. It is also the home to Kalaupapa, where St. Damien and St. Mary Ann did their missionary work with the patients of Hansen's disease. To the right of it would be the island of Lanai. That is owned by one of the richest men in the world, Larry Ellison, of Oracle Computers. And beyond that would be the island of Maui, about 80 miles away. Maui is the Valley Island. And that is the island that has they had those terrible fires a year ago or so. And beyond that would be the youngest and the biggest of the Hawaiian Islands, the island of Hawaii, also known as the Big Island. We call it the Big Island because if we put all the other islands together, it'd be bigger. And it gets bigger every day because that's the one that has the active volcano adding on a few inches every single day. This mountain on the left is notorious for a little bit turbulent, but it doesn't look too bad today, but we'll come around. Coming up to the right, look on the right, the beautiful Hanauma Bay, the beautiful colors of the ocean there. Nice place to go see a lot of fish. It's a marine reserve, so the fish are protected, so lots of them down there. Look up to the right, then we'll bring it around to the left for you there. Okay, I think that's back there. In front of us, about 3,000 miles is New Zealand, and to the right of it is Australia. We're not going to make that, so we're going to go this way. And we're hour, coming left in 3, 2, 1. And out your left door, is the beautiful Anaba Bay. We're going to cruise along the Cayubi coastline named after the Cayubi Channel. We have the Lanai Lookout, the Beloho Lookout, the beautiful but dangerous sandy beach there. Don't let the beauty of this beach fool you coming up. That's the most dangerous beach on the island because of the shore break. This area here is called the Makapu Point. This is the easternmost point of the island. Makapu is where our whales like to hang out during whale season, which is coming up shortly. Whale season is November till May. And the whales come to the islands to give birth and to breed, and they head up to Alaska, like they are right now for summertime, for feeding. So they spend 5 months in Hawaii, 1 month swimming up there, 5 months in Alaska, Canada, and then 1 month swimming back here for having a baby and making a baby. That's why we call them Hawaiian humpbacks, because they are born here in Hawaii. We don't have to the krill for them to stay here year-round, so. Now the toothed whales can stay here because they can find stuff to eat, but the filter feeders, they have to go north to go get some food here. But they come for the warm weather during the winter. We're going to get to this mountain. Go to this mountain gap. The word mountain and gap means turbulence, but like I said, it's not too bad today, so we should be okay. A couple little rain showers offside. We love rain in Hawaii. Rain is how we get our drinking water, so even though we're surrounded by water, it's all salt water, and we need the fresh rainwater to give us our drinking water. And then offshore we have these 2 islands. These are off limits. These are bird and marine sanctuaries. The big one is called Manana Island. The other one is called Flat Island. And then down below you can see a parking lot. We can park the car and go heading out to the lighthouse on the right. This is the Makapu Lighthouse. And forward right about 2,500 miles. That's where California is. It's mainland USA. There comes the beautiful Makapu Lighthouse, one of the most photographed lighthouses we have. And we're going to come around to the left here in 3, 2, 1, coming left. Out your left there, this is called the Sea Life Park. This is an ocean park that features dolphins, false killer whales, penguins, and seals, trying to perform and entertain you there. Also a research center for the University of Hawaii and the Hawaii Pacific University. The harbor is used by the research people, and it's, they filmed Jurassic Park and a couple other movies there. Along the ridge line, we look out for hang gliders and paragliders. These are the good guys and gals, so we don't have to watch out for them too much. They know what they're doing. Coming up on the left, you see that lagoon area with all those people hanging at the beach. That's where the original Magnum house is located. But a guy bought a house there, and he built over it. You might have heard of him. It's the former President Barack Obama. Owns one of those houses there. And he comes here mostly in the winter time when it's cold in Chicago, where he lives normally, I believe, or Washington, D.C. Now that we're on the windward side of the island, it should be smoother sailing till we get back up into the mountains, so it's not too bad here. Beautiful Waimanalo Bay, Waimanalo Beach Park here on the left, another former #1 in the USA before. The other half of the bay you can see is not much development. That's because that's a military side there. And then up ahead, you have those 2 islands there. Those are called the Twin Mokus. Those are not restricted access. Those islands you can go to by swimming, kayaking, or paddleboarding. And across from it is Lanikai and Kailua. Besides being former #1s in America, they have been former #1 beaches in the world. So very nice beaches to go and go check out there. Alright, we used to fly over that town up ahead called Kailua, but they are very noise sensitive. So if I was to fly over there, they would all call up and complain about noise. That's where all the people from California have moved to. Oh, you guys from California? Oh, Romania, right now, I gotcha. Alright, so we're going to go around the town here. We're going to fly over this ridge line here. This is called Mount Olomana. 3 mountain peaks, I call them harder, and hardest. That's because the trail goes along the ridge, and people fall off this trail, which is very dangerous there, so gotta be careful. Behind it is a quarry where is a crater that they helped build the island there, and this is the upwind part of it, and the downwind is where the mountains are mostly. Yeah, we fly over here. You might see some hikers up there waving to you. If they wave to you, just give them a little shaka and wave back to them. They like that. And we might get a little draft, a little updraft from the other side, pushing up the mountain here. Nothing to worry about. So, we have any special occasions while we're here in the islands? Honeymoons, anniversaries, anything like that? Just want to spend your money in Hawaii? Yeah, you like that? There's some hikers way on there today. There's some on down all the mountains there. Pretty good. Behind the town, you see this green area. Like I said, we are very protective about our plants and animals, and that's a good example of that, where we protect those plants and animals. And coming up on the right there, we got the quarry, where we got that building materials and the rocks and the cement, that kind of stuff. Everything's so expensive here in Hawaii because everything has to be brought into the island here, basically. We don't have any natural resources to sustain us with the current modern way of living. It was like in the old days where we just had to eat fish and now I got no problem, but it's not like that anymore. Although some people think it is like that. On the left, this is called the Pule. This was the last battle of Hawaii was fought, where the king pushed the Oahu army up this valley over this cliff, where they fell to their death. After that, he united the Hawaiian Islands. That was the great king, Kamehameha, where you see his name everywhere. Here on the right is the town of Kaneohe, and Kaneohe was one of our earliest settlements of the island. They settled here because it's easy to get water, go hunting, farming, and fishing. And they had access to the beautiful bay, the Kaneohe Bay, the largest natural bay here in the island. And in the middle of the bay on the right, you can see an island there. It's called Coconut Island. One-time coconut plantation, and the playground, the birds and famous. Now it's the home to University of Hawaii's research on the dolphins, sharks, and the reef itself. Mostly reef research nowadays. We just flew over the freeway. Our freeways link up our military bases. If you went around to the back to the right, they'll take you to the Marine Corps base on the point there. If you follow it straight ahead through the mountains, it'll take you over Pearl Harbor and Hickam, the Air Force, and the Naval Base. And if you went across and went to the right, you go up to the Army base there. Airport's on the other side of the mountain. We'll be going there in about 40 more minutes. So it's going into this valley here. This is called the Haiku Valley, the home of the Stairway to Heaven, a very popular hiking trail that unfortunately has been cut down, and the only way to see it is by helicopter now. But you'll see on the spine of the ridge here, you'll see a stairway. And people used to hike up here all the time, but no longer allowed there. They're actually taking down the stairway because they don't maintain it anymore. I can let there. Yeah, the people like to hide from us when we come up there. They've been arresting people from going into there. Now you can see Pearl Harbor up on the left. We'll see it here shortly when we come back around. In fact, coming down here, heading towards the water here. On this side of the ridge, this is called the Stairway to Hell. One side's heaven, this side's hell. You never see anybody on this side. This side's just too darn dangerous there. But you can see there's still a trail there. And we are coming down. Now if you look into the ocean on the right there, you can see the coral heads. The brown part is alive, the light part is sand already. On the shoreline, you see a big fish pond there that the ancient Hawaiians built. They did such a good job. They still use it till today, so pretty good place. And in the middle of the bay, you can see the boats heading out there, and there's a bunch of them there already. That's called the Sandbar. Very fun place to go hang out. As we keep on coming down here. When we fly over the water, looking down into it, you'll see brown dots. Those are turtles. And the turtles are endangered. We have been protecting them for many years, and they have done very well, and they've recovered pretty good, so you'll see a lot of them. If you see anything swimming side to side, that's normally a big old shark. And in here, a lot of hammerheads, so you'll know it if you see it there. Anything going up and down would be a dolphin. Very hard to see in here. Diamonds or triangles, we do see them. Those are the manta rays or the stingrays there. So We might get lucky and see those guys down. Come down a little bit more. And up ahead is another island there offshore, and it's called Chinaman Tab. You can tell by just the shape of it now. Alright, let's come on down here. Yeah, see a lot of turtles down here. They like to hang out over here. This big reef is where the manta rays like to hang out too, so we'll sometimes see them, but that boat might have scared them away. Now look at these mountains on the left. Do they look familiar? Have you seen a movie called Jurassic Park? That's the island right there, so let's go check it out. On the ocean side of the highway is the Kulo Park. That's a private park. On the mountain side is the Kulo Ranch. The ranch is a working ranch, so they still raise cattle and other things like that. But they also do a lot of tourist activities like horseback riding, mountain biking, ATV rides, zip lining. That's a new thing they're doing here. We are back in the mountains, so anticipate a little bit of bumps there. Some of the movie set locations here, they have movies like Hunger Games, 51st Dates, Godzilla, King Kong, Jumanji, TV shows like Lost, Off the Map, Hawaii Five-0, Magnum P.I., NCIS Hawaii, whole bunch of commercials, including a Super Bowl commercial. If you look to the left, those walls are from the most famous movies filmed in here, Jurassic Park, filmed in here. So this next valley is called Cobb Valley, but is also affectionately known as Jurassic Park. When you look in the valley, it might look familiar to you, if you have seen the movies or a fan of them. And down on the right, you'll see the zip line towers and all that kind of stuff here. Some of the movie props down here. And then you do a lot of filming down here. You might see there's the cattle way down there. I'm going to come around to the right a little bit more and bring it around so Mom can look down the valley here. There you go, we'll stay away from the mountain. So whose mom and dad is that back there? Oh, your mom and dad now. Alrighty, looking good here. Yeah, a lot of movie props. When a movie does good, they leave the prop out. If the movie does terrible, they take it down and hide it there. That's how it goes there. So all these are from Jurassic Park mostly. Up and over. Woohoo! Whoops. Alright, we still okay back there? Yeah, I forgot the doors are off. Oh boy. Alright, this valley here is called Kahana Valley, and Kahana Valley is the playground where the king and queen used to play. Off to your left, they would go hunting. Down below was farming. Off to your right, they had their own private bay for fishing and surfing. And they had their own private fish pond, too. Up in the front now is where the beginner paragliders hang out. And if we take away these caretaker homes and that water tank on the left, this valley is very well preserved, so pretty cool place to go check out. Nice day. When you can see the whole mountain ridge, that means a good day here in Hawaii. That means the clouds are above 3,000 feet. They're just coming to go, so they won't stay around too long. That usually means a good day at the beach there, too. When it's hanging over there, that's when they kind of hang around and rain a little bit more. This valley here is called Punaluu Valley, and Punaluu Valley is a farming community of taro farmers, and taro is the staple of the Hawaiian diet. Taro is what poi is made out of. If you're into a luau, you might try some poi. That's pretty good. Did you guys go to a luau? Not yet. Not yet? Oh, so you're in the beginning of your trip. Oh, far away. Okay. Nice. I'll show you where they have a really good luau up here. The next valley we're going to is the big waterfall, so get your cameras out, turn them on, get them ready, take a picture. We don't hang in here too long, so I'll put the waterfall on the left-hand side first, and I'll turn the aircraft to the left. You'll get a good shot on the right. This also was a popular hiking trail, but it closed down too because it's very susceptible to flash flooding because the walls are so steep here. And there's a waterfall way on the bottom. That's the one the hikers can make it to, and so they call that Sacred Falls. It's not the real one. The real one is up on the top. We'll see that shortly here. Here it comes now. There's got the waterfall now. 300 feet drop. Then another 800 feet to the bottom. And keeps on going to that other one there. There you go, Mom. Coming around to the left now. Putting it on the right. There you go. Take your time, LA. But there's a mountain in front of us. Coming up. And off we go to the north of Oahu, the surfing capital of the world. This next part of the flight is one of the faster parts. The wind is at our tail, kind of pushes us along, but it's a bumpy one though, so don't worry, we got this. Yeehaw. Now up and to the right, that town is called Laie. Laie is our Mormon community. And the Mormons came out here to settle to do their religious and missionary work. On the left-hand side of the town is a bright white building, which is the temple. In the middle is the campus of the the BYU Hawaii campus. And on the right, you'll see some of the buildings there. That is the Polynesian Cultural Center. That's the place you should go visit. It's closed on Sundays, but they'll take on a cultural tour of the islands of Hawaii, Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Tahiti, New Zealand, all kinds of cool things there. And they have a great dinner show with a luau. Really good place to check out. Worth the money for sure. The cool thing about it is the people who work and do the performances are from those countries, so it's very authentic, so it's very good stuff. It's not like you or me trying to be somebody from New Zealand. Most of them are the students going to the school. That's how they pay for school, so it's a pretty good deal. Alright, down here, one of my favorite colors is green, so when the sun's up like this, you can see all the different colors of green. So beautiful out here. My favorite color is blue, of course, you know, the sky and the sea there. Being a boy from the island, too. Now, coming up is the Kahuku Point. North of that is Alaska, Canada, Russia. If you wanted to, you keep going that way and you get to Europe. That'd be the fastest way. But I'm sure you guys flew to the U.S. and stopped a little bit and made your way out there, like most people do. We're hoping one day we have non-stop flights to Europe there. We'll see it happen. Hawaiian Airlines, we just bought some new airplanes that have some pretty good long legs. They can make that flight if they had to. That's the Coast Guard helicopter. Yeah, down below us here is a lot of military training, and above the buildings over there you'll see a orange helicopter hovering over there. That's the Coast Guard guy practicing. And windmill farms, we have the highest fuel costs in the nation, so we tap into the wind and sun to reduce those costs. We do okay with the wind. We do better with solar power. We have a lot more uses of solar power. Examples of that. And along the shore there we have a big hotel, and it's called the Turtle Bay. That was designed to be a casino. But gambling's not illegal. It's illegal in Hawaii, so we never opened the casino. But the hotel is open, very popular. Yeah, they're always practicing pulling people off that building all the time. And now the north of Oahu, the surfing capital of the world. If you can start from the Kahuku Point on your right, out to the far left, that's the Kaina Point, the westernmost point of the island. All these surf areas will start to get very big here pretty soon. Straight ahead, about 100 miles, would be the island of Kauai, the Garden Island. Beyond it, there's about 100 more Hawaiian islands, rocks, and reefs until you get out to Japan, Korea, China, Vietnam, that kind of stuff. And these balls here, we call them the golf balls, the radar site, motocross track coming up here, and then the satellite track in here. It is still summertime considered that, so the waves aren't so big here. They're getting bigger, but later on they'll get really big and get very dangerous. So right now you can go swimming, snorkeling, and fishing, but once the waves get big, you can't do any of that stuff. It'll be too dangerous for you. Every surf break has a different name. I'm just going to cover the more famous ones as we go along. The first famous surf beach is, you see where the beach here touches the road, it's called the Sunset Bay, Sunset Beach. Great place to catch sunset, and during surf contests, a lot of surf contests are held here. And this place always has a lot of parking, so it has a spot there. Yeah, the waves are getting a little bit bigger, and we have some rain, so the water's kind of like not as clean as it is. You can see where the line is, where it's kind of, the sediments all kicked up in the water here. The next famous surf spot is across the school. You see a bunch of people on the beach. That is the most famous surf beach in the world. That is the Ehukai Beach Park. You might have heard the name. It's called the Pipeline, or the Bonsai Pipeline. Very famous surf spot there. It's like the Super Bowl or the World Cup of surfing right here. You know? And then we have the Sharks Cove and Three Tables, two popular snorkeling areas that you need to go check out. And then we're going to turn up that big bay. That beautiful bay is called Waimea Bay. It's the home of the big wave contest called the Ariakau. And it's just a beautiful beach. On the left-hand side is where the waves surf, big surf breaks. And on your right, you'll see a rock. You'll see people jumping off of it. Pretty popular spot, too. Yeah, this is like Hanauma Bay over here. It's protected water, so lots of fish, but not so much restrictions. You can go here. There's no check-in place or anything like that. Sometimes there's dolphins in here in the morning, so. Now, a dolphin can swim up to you. You just can't go swim to a dolphin. That's illegal, man. Here on the left, we have the heiau. This is where the Hawaiians would have their temples and ceremonies. That was before they got converted into Christians by the missionaries there, as the order of the king at the time. You can go up the valley here. This is an old fishing village, so they have some pretty good displays there. Go to a botanical garden. At the top of your hike, there's a little waterfall. You know, the big waterfall. It's called the Waimea Falls. And you can go swimming in there, and they have lifeguards. Pretty safe place to go swim. Big windmill farm here, 30 windmills spinning around, making electricity. They were going to put 30 more, but they switched over to solar. Solar's cheaper, easy to maintain. There's that waterfall down there now. And we're heading back into the airport where we'll be landing shortly. On your left-hand side is the Ko'olau mountain ranges. On your right-hand side, those are called the Waianae mountain range. And these two ranges form the island. Up on the top right there is Mount Sa'ala, the highest point of the island, at 4,000 feet. Down on the right is the town and harbor of Haleiwa. The town is where you go shopping, get something to eat, try the famous shave ice. The harbor is where you charter your fishing boat, go on a sunset cruise, go whale watching. Or the latest craze now is to go swimming with sharks, if you want to go do that. No. You can do it in a cage, or you can do it with no cage. It's up to you. They have both of them there. So. Don't worry about sharks in Hawaii. We got Hawaiian sharks. Shaka, shaka. Believe it or not, sharks really want nothing to do with you, you know. You gotta look at it this way. We kill more sharks than they kill us, you know. We kill millions of sharks, and they get us maybe 100 or so a year, maybe, you know. The odds are not in their favor. How we doing back there, Mom and Dad? We okay? What's up, Egg? And when you came into the island, we told you, did you bring any plants or animals? Because we don't want you to do that, because if you do, this could happen. Down below here, this used to be all sugarcane, wide open fields. These trees here come from Africa, and they have taken over. And they have no natural predator, nothing to eat them, so no giraffes nearby, so they're just out of hand. Now up here, the cows are winning the battle. And there's a cattle ranch, so the cows eat the trees before they get grown. So if you look down at the bottom, the cows are starting to lose a little bit, so who knows. On your left-hand side, the go around. On your right there, you see a gap in there. That's called the Kolikoli Pass. When the Japanese attacked, this is the route that they flew into Pearl Harbor. Some of them came through the Kolikoli Pass. They attacked the Army bases, Gulfsburg, Wheeler, and then they hit Pearl Harbor, which will fly over shortly. The Americans did shoot down 7 Japanese aircraft, which is okay, but the Japanese had 300, so got our butts kicked. On the other side of the road there, you can see those lined up fields. Those are the pineapple fields. We still raise pineapple a little bit. Not like we used to, but we do a little bit. But that is because we have the best pineapple in the world. That's why. That I can get. I've been in arguments with people from the Philippines, from Thailand, saying that our pineapples are better. I'm like, your pineapples suck. We're heading up to a place with those red roofs. That's called the... That's called the Dole Pineapple Plantation, where you can learn everything you want to about pineapples. You can sample them, you can buy them, all that kind of stuff there. So, pretty cool place. And then you get to taste what I mean about having the best pineapple there is. On the left is military stuff here, military housing, military installation there. And on the right is the maze next to the parking lot. In the middle of the maze you can see the garden that looks like a pineapple. And up ahead is Pearl Harbor, which we'll be heading to shortly. Next here we have this intersection. To the right of it is a place called Cook. It's the Kukani local where the king and queen would have their kids, their babies, the royal family there. And surrounding Wahiwa, Lake Wilson, the freshwater reservoir provides water for the crops down below. And it's been stocked up with bass, perch, tilapia, and catfish for some freshwater fishing there. Next up is the Wheeler Airfield, the home of the 25th Infantry Division Aviation Brigade there. You'll see modern helicopters like the Black Hawk, the Apache, and the Chinook. I used to fly Chinooks, and I'm old though, so by the front gate, the museum pieces is a Huey, a Cobra, and a Kiowa. I flew all of those too there. On the other side of the mountains, we have some of the nicest beaches on the island. That's because that side of the island is very dry, and because it's dry, there's no runoff, so the water's beautiful down there. Black Hawk. Yeah, this is called Mililani. This used to be all pineapples here. Now it's all houses, so very popular. We have 1.4 million residents that live in Hawaii altogether. 1 million are on this island. And we have all the crazy traffic, so we're trying to build and develop. In front of us is a second city called Kapolei. Have beaches out there. If you look to the left, you see Diamond Head, Waikiki, the airport, Pearl Harbor is in front of us, which we'll fly over. There's 3 parts of Pearl Harbor. On your right is West Lock, where they arm and de-arm the ships. Middle Lock, you'll see the old mothball ships. And in the main part of harbor where the naval base and the shipyard is located now. And we'll start to come down here once we cross over here. Alright, we'll be coming into the airport here. We're going to get a little bumpy. We all set back there for landing. You guys are good. We are coming home. Here we go. Yeah! Coming down to the down. We are looking good. More solar farms down here. Like I said, it's the way to go. Alright, we are looking good. We are still coming down. And here's the rail yard, and then we have the community college. Here on the left, this is one of the few towns in Hawaii without a Hawaiian name. That's my hometown, Pearl City. I still live there, born and raised. Coming down here. Yeah, so the Navy has done a lot to clean up the harbor here. It was really polluted for many years, but it's gotten better. The oysters are back, so we can set some pearls there from Pearl Harbor and some other things, but it's still getting there, but they're working hard. When the Japanese attacked, they came in from the north like we are, the east and the west converging on the island. 18 ships surrounded this island. The Japanese sank them all. 2 ships are still here today. One of them is in front of us. He's a long pier and a white one, and a ship on the side. That's the Utah. On the other side is the naval, the Arizona on the left, the Missouri on the right. And across the channel is the naval base to your left, and the shipyards on the right. And the orange and white tower used to be the control tower of the airfield. You can see there. Now it's the home of the Pacific Air Museum. A really cool museum to go check out. They have a really good selection of airplanes there. And come back around to the museum. Yeah, I apologize that I can't circle around here. Like I said, the Navy is a little sensitive about us flying over here, so we can tilt it around, but we can't fly around here. And here on the right is Battleship Road, where you see the Arizona and the Missouri. And you can see the oil coming out of the ship. That's the actual oil from the ship. There you go. Here in front of us is the Arizona Visitor Center. We like to fly around that. You'll see a World War II submarine down there. That's the Bowfin. Another cool thing to go check out. Here on the left is the Pro Ridge Shopping Center. Here's a stadium where we play our sporting events. We're back at the airport, the home of Magnum Helicopters and Hawaiian Airlines. When you look at the tail of our beautiful Hawaiian Airlines airplanes, you'll see a flower in the girls there. That is the hibiscus flower, the state flower. The state bird is the nene goose. The state marine mammal is the humpback whale. And the state fish is the one with the long name, the Homo homonuku apua'a, also known as a Picasso sugarhead. And on your right is a naval base connected to the Air Force base. Connected to the airport. The big runway on the outside there is a man-made reclaimed land there, and that's a reef runway. Designed and built to meet emergency landing here for the space shuttle. And we'll just wait for our clearance to land on the other side there. Our Hawaiian Airlines area over there. Just wait for him to release us there. I got a little airplane climbing out over here. We're going to go behind him. I promise everybody gets to see whales on my flights. If you look out the building on the right, what do you think? Whales. Alright, we have been cleared for landing. At this time, I'd like to personally say thank you for flying with us here at Magnum Helicopters. It's been my pleasure. I hope you come back and fly with us again someday. Or make a recommendation to us on the modern social media. TripAdvisor, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Yelp, Snapchat, all that stuff there. If you have anything good to say, my name was Jeff. Any complaints, you can call me Alex or Nicholas. We'll be landing shortly. And when we do land, the ground crew's going to get you there safe and sound. Just take your time, be slow. Don't rush. Don't forget to take off your headsets. We'll be landing shortly. Alright, looking good. Alright, looking. Yeah, probably one of the hardest parts about flying this thing is going through these buildings when the wind is picking up, so. Alright, we are down in space. Thanks for flying with us. Here they come. They'll help you out.